Hey guys, welcome back to I See You. I'm Melanie Sandy, and today we are jumping into a brand new topic. Today we're going to be talking about relationships. And I am not here to say that I am perfect in relationships. I am not. But I am a work in progress, and I hope that what I can present to you guys can help you guys, and whatever you guys know, you can touch base with me and drop comments. So I wanted to jump into the definition of relationship from Webster Dictionary. It states, the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected. The way in which two or more people or groups regard and behave toward each other. So I wrote a letter to relationships, and it goes like this. Dear relationship, I have been back and forth, up and down with you for as long as I can remember. Relationship, you have brought me great experiences, as well as heartbreak. You have introduced to me people that will be a part of my life for years to come. People that have taught me, and people who have shown me what I don't want out of life and what not to accept. Relationship, you have been complicated, exhausting. You have been an eye-opener. You have been exhilarating, life-changing. You have brought strength and doubts, insecurities. And a lot of what I have gone through has created this beauty that you see before you. But it takes time, effort, willingness to compromise, to grow, to build, to learn, and to withstand, to truly understand relationships. Relationship, you are work. From an intimate relationship to a friendship. Relationships require an individual that knows themselves. They know their wants, their needs. They know their purpose and is moving in that direction. Relationships require two individuals that are whole, not one seeking purpose and acceptance or even love. In many ways, relationships with yourself need to come first to eventually move into building with another. Relationship, you have shown me what not to do and how being in a relationship with myself as well as God needs to again come first. Many of us desire companionship, which is defined in the Webster Dictionary as a feeling of fellowship or friendship. Feeling like you have one in your corner. But a relationship is so much more. It requires dedication. Unfortunately, we tend to seek relationships for the wrong reasons. To not be alone. To have someone to love, someone to care for, to fill the void of a missing father, mother, or friend, to become financially stable. But let's not continue on this path to the wrong outcome, but let's prepare for the right one. So, when I think about relationships, I think about so many different aspects of a relationship. And with that being said, I broke them up in points so I can make sure that I address them as needed. Initially, before I jump into a relationship with another person, I want us to understand that we as individuals need to love ourselves. We need to know ourselves. We need to have an identity and understand that if I have a relationship with myself and the relationship with myself is great, then anything following that can only be great. A lot of times we jump into relationships because of things that we're lacking. And that right there sets our relationships up for failure. We need to understand that we need to learn to love ourselves first. When thinking about relationships, we need to first learn to have a strong relationship with ourselves. Understanding who we are before we can understand someone else. Knowing our wants and our needs, our desires. Knowing what our triggers are. We tend to jump into relationships at young ages, and I understand when they're at young ages, they're very simple. But over time and with age, they become more advanced. And when we tend to skip over the understanding of knowing yourself, it results in a relationship going bad before it even starts. If I am not truly happy with myself, how can I then put myself in a relationship for someone else to be happy with me? It's impossible. We tend to seek relationships when we feel like we're missing something. I had a friend one time speak to me about something, and one of the things they said was they wanted to have a child because at least that would give them somebody to love. Again, relationships are not just intimate relationships with a man and a woman. It can also be friendships. It can also be the relationship between a mother and daughter, a relationship between a father and son. So with this being said, this person who failed to find themselves and who lacked the ability to truly love themselves resulted in creating or developing a relationship. So they then got pregnant to have a relationship with their child because they felt that would give them love or that would make them feel like they had purpose. Again, I am religious. To each his own. So I believe that God has a purpose for everyone. If we know it or if we don't. Eventually, we will get to know it if you are on the right track. And with that purpose, you need to find your identity. You need to find out who you really are and what moves you, what makes you who you are. In no way or form can anyone ever fill that void for you. If you are unaware of who you are and if you lack loving yourself, then a relationship, have it be this man has everything that you desire, such as looks, finances, goals, maybe he doesn't have any children because you don't have any children, whatever the case may be. But if you feel as though this other person has everything that you want, if you do not come to the playing field with everything that you have, then it doesn't matter how much he has. If you lack your identity, if you lack love for yourself, then it doesn't matter what this person has. And if this person loves himself, knows his identity, has a purpose, whatever the case may be, it's not going to work because you're lacking the main ingredients to a relationship. Bottom line, many of us try to, again, find ourselves through a relationship. It's never going to work. You're never going to be able to find what you're lacking, or I need to find my husband so I can then find my purpose. No, you need to find your purpose and then your husband will fall in play. In no way or form should you be out here trying to build a relationship if you don't even love yourself, if you don't even know what you have to offer. Like, before we can move forward in growing, in loving each other, in whatever the case may be, if you don't love yourself, where are you? Like, how do you think you can love anyone else? It's impossible. In addition to not loving yourself, that also falls in the umbrella of the voids. So you may have grown up not having a father. And because you didn't have a father, you lack that love from a man. And you go seeking that love out in a relationship. Regardless of, again, what that other person has to offer, you're never going to be satisfied. Whatever they give you, whatever they pour into your cup, it will never be full because you have holes in your cup that lack you from being filled. You need to first fix the holes, and then from you now being a cup that is not broken, then seek something to be filled, to fill you, if that makes any sense. Another point that I want to address is knowing what you want out of life. A lot of times people are basing their desires, their wants, their needs off of, have it be social media, movies, television, what their mother told them was the perfect man, whatever the case may be. You need to figure that out on your own. You cannot allow anybody else's judgment, thought process, whatever the case may be, to determine what you want out of a person. In many ways, we are trying to find soulmates. And in finding a soulmate, again, you need to know yourself. And if you don't even know what you like or what you don't like, how do you think this significant other that you eventually will build a relationship with is going to be able to cater to you, or is going to be able to, understand you as a person if you don't even understand you? I tend to think that before you can grow into an intimate relationship, I feel like you need to be friends. I want to be in a relationship with someone that is my best friend, someone that you can talk to, you can trust, someone that you can be honest with, someone that is loyal, someone that you can break down in front of, and they may give you good feedback and then lift you back up. You need to find someone that, regardless if you guys are sexually intimate or whatever the case may be, they are there for you. Have it be during the relationship, before the relationship, after the relationship. You need to build a foundation with someone before you can then say, oh, this is my significant other, this is my boyfriend, or whatever the case may be. Building, again, those stepping stones. A lot of times people say that in a relationship, they want it to be 50-50. And that's all good. That's how they view it, and that's perfectly fine. However, the way I view a relationship is I want it to be 100-100. I want to be able to present myself to someone where I feel confident. I know who I am. I know my likes. I know my dislikes. I know my triggers. I know what I am lacking. And I also know what strengths I have. I feel like when you are whole, when you are comfortable with yourself, when you have learned to love yourself regardless whether or not the guy likes you, the girl wants to talk to you, your mom said she loves you today, whatever the case may be, regardless of what the situation is, if you can hold your head high and feel confident within yourself, regardless of what anyone has to say about you, that shows me that you are a whole person, that you know who you are and you are confident within yourself to, at that point in time, then be able to present yourself to someone as a whole person, versus you having so much issues and you try to present yourself to someone for a relationship and you bring in all these issues and you bring in your, your insecurities, you're bringing your doubts, you're bringing, your, granted, everyone has faults, but you're bringing all the voids that you have over the years. You bring in all the bad experiences that you have because you weren't able to get over them. You need to learn that you need to find yourself first. I'm going to repeat this like 50 million times in this video. Like, you're going to hear it 50 million times. Why? Because a relationship cannot develop unless you are capable and you have the tools within yourself to develop them. If you have holes within you, if you are broken, if you have extreme voids, like things that you feel like, you have yet to get over, if this is where you are in this particular moment, then that particular moment is not when you need to get into a relationship. You need to build the relationship with yourself before you can then attempt to build a relationship with anyone else. Another point that I want to address is being ready to work mentally, physically, and emotionally. Relationships is hard. They're extremely hard. And they take work to the point that it's not something that you could just turn off and let go. And if you tend not to put in effort or, work on it, then it's going to fail. If you are not mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared to step into someone's world and actually work on a relationship building, then you should not sign up for a relationship. I think a lot of times what tends to happen is people jump into relationships before they're ready, because they like the person and they care about the person and they, we work so well together and, we have great conversation, and that's all good. But if you are not ready to put the work in, then it's going to go downhill. Because a relationship will have that beginning honeymoon stage where it's sweet and dandy, and then real shit occurs. Have it be, financial issues. Have it be you guys are now expecting a child. Have it be, other people that are attempting or trying to bring their negative energy into your situation. Regardless of what it is, if you guys as a unit are not willing to work towards a relationship, then unfortunately, the relationship is already dead before it even started. One needs to learn that it's another job. It's a second shift. Like, you have to be able to understand that you may have gotten used to just moving on your own terms, moving on your own time, not having to follow up with anybody. And granted, not saying that you are required to check in, but when you're in a relationship, there are various different requirements in a relationship. One being, if you're in a relationship, you may need to touch base with your significant other throughout the day. And if you have gotten used to moving on your own terms, that is something that you're going to have to change. So that's something that you're going to have to work on. And again, if you're not prepared or willing or ready to work on a relationship and have that relationship grow and build, then you're not ready to jump into a relationship. Another point in relationships that I want to address is once you are in a relationship and you have been in this relationship for years, a lot of us tend to go into this phase where we begin to feel comfortable. And when we begin to feel comfortable, it takes us to a place of, I'm comfortable, so I am willing to stay. Even if the relationship is not what it needs to be. If it's not benefiting you in, and it's not the best situation for you. Because you have become comfortable over the years. You have dealt with this person for years. They know you in and out. They, you know what to expect with this person. You tend to settle. And with that being said, I feel like no one should settle. I feel like everybody is great. Everybody, everybody should be able to meet the best person that is best suited for them. And if the person that you're in a relationship is not best suited for you, then in that situation, I feel like that is when you need to let that person go. When you have gotten to a place where, you are dwelling on what the relationship used to be and how it was so perfect, and you have not even seen that relationship in years. However, the current relationship that you've been experiencing has, resulted in cheating and lies and, abuse, whatever the case may be. And because you've been with that person for so long, you're just like, you know what? I'm comfortable with this person. I don't want to go through the whole process of meeting another person, getting to know the other person. And that right there, cheats you in the long run. Like, you are not as happy as you could be. And who doesn't want to be happy? When you tend to love someone for years and you guys become comfortable, you have to learn to just understand that it's a possibility that you guys may need to let each other go. And you still want the best for that person, but you want the best for yourself. And if that situation is not benefiting you in the best ability that it can, then at that point in time, trying something new, being by yourself, whatever the case may be. Another point that I want to address is being in a relationship and losing yourself. So previously I talked about being 100% in a relationship. Well, here's the opposite. When you enter a relationship and you are not 100% knowing who you are, knowing your identity, happy with yourself, that is when it becomes easier to lose yourself in that relationship, to depend only on your significant other, to lose interest in things that you normally would, want to engage in. But now that you've been in this relationship, you tend to lose interest because it's not what your significant other wants to do. So you begin to alter your everyday life, your everyday routine, your movements, your thought process, all the above. And you begin to look in a mirror and see somebody that you don't even know who it is, because you tend to lose yourself in that person. Can anyone say that they've ever been there? I can. I've been there. And it's difficult. And it's extremely hard to get out of it. Because again, when you love somebody so much, you think you're supposed to be with them. I love you. I want to be with you. Because when you love somebody, you should be together. Not all the time. You can love someone, but you guys are just not meant to be. You guys just don't mesh well. And that's okay. And that's when you're able to acknowledge that the intimate relationship may not work, but we may just be able to be friends, because I know that you are going to support me and be in my corner. However, this type of relationship, we're unable to, provide what we need to provide. You can't give me what I need. I can't give you what you need. So I hope that you can find what you need out there. When you're in a relationship nowadays, it becomes very difficult because your relationship is viewed by the entire world. When you post everything on social media, when you're taking pictures on Snapchat, whatever the case may be, everything's public. So now it begins to become difficult for those two individuals in that relationship because they present these photos to the world, and it's a possibility that they may be going through something, but they are going to cover it up and make it look ideal. In no way or form is anybody perfect. We talked about this before. We are imperfectly perfect, and our relationships are imperfectly perfect. There is no relationship that people do not argue. There is no relationship where everybody is in agreement at all times. If that is the case in your relationship, please teach me. Please show me, because you must be, God sent, because I don't understand. I wouldn't know. Like, I'm realistic and I know that we have disagreements, and I know that, people bump heads. So in all actuality, no one's perfect. And because of that, we need to understand that our relationships don't have to look like they're perfect either. And make sure that you don't present your relationship to social media and expect their feedback and their comments. Like, I've learned that I limit what I post. Why? Because I don't need people's negative judgment. Granted, some may be positive, but there's a lot of negative people in there. And people are waiting to see you fail. They're waiting to see you look broken. They're waiting to see, oh, he cheated on her, or, oh, you know what I mean? They're going through some mess, or, oh, they're broke, or whatever the case may be. People are waiting for your downfall. And because they're waiting for your downfall, why should you be the person to present it to them? In a relationship, I feel like the social media aspect of it needs to be limited, because you should not allow the world to judge your relationship. That should only be judged by you and your partner. And when we tend to post our information publicly for people to see and for people to judge, we need to understand that you need to be just as strong and able to have those comments bounce off of you. Because if you're not 100% confident in yourself as well as your relationship, those negative feedbacks, that judgment, all those comments could break you and your relationship down. I feel we need to start off with the relationship with ourselves. I think we need to build ourselves up to a point of no return. I think I need to have extreme confidence. I need to know where I want to go in life, have my goals set, and be on the right track and direction towards those goals, towards my purpose. I need to look in the mirror and love myself every day, regardless of what. And then at that point in time, I can have a sexy man standing behind me to tell me he loves me. Because him telling me he loves me, it doesn't solidify it. Me telling myself that I love me solidifies it. Him telling me that he loves me is just a plus. If we don't love ourselves, then we can't love other people. If we can't work on ourselves, then what makes you think you can work on your relationship? If you are unable to deal with and accept the nonsense and the judgment that society has to offer, with or without your approval, with or without your request, because they will provide you, their feedback when you didn't ask for it. If you cannot deal with that, then you're not ready to step into the second stage of relationships, is with a person. You need to stay in relationship with yourself and learn to deal with all those negative situations, all the judgment, whatever the case may be in that moment, so that you become so strong that when you move to the next stage of your life and you are in a relationship with your significant other, nothing phases you. I hope to find someone that I can live with and love and be happy with till the day that I die. I wish that I can find the person that, finishes my sentences and makes me laugh, but then can make me cry at the same time. I want that for myself, and I want that for everyone, because God he created us to have a partner. And granted, we may not feel like that at times. We may feel like, oh my goodness, there's nobody out there that can truly understand me, but that person is out there. And if you stop looking and you start looking within and you start working on self, then I guarantee that person is just going to find you. And when he does find you, you will be perfectly ready. You will have loved on yourself enough. You will have built that confidence. You will have found your purpose, walking in your purpose. You will have feel like you are enough. And at that moment in time, you can add things on to me, because now I am at a place where I'm happy with me. Nobody can change how happy I am with me. And when you're at that place, then that's a place of, bliss, where you're ready. You're ready for whatever, life has to offer you. But I think a lot of times we tend to skip that stage. And because we skip that stage, we tend to fail at our relationships because we didn't start off correctly. We started counting at 3 and we were supposed to start at 1. So I just wanted to sum, the topic up and just say, what do you guys think? Drop some comments down, give me some feedback, and let me know, what do you think goes on in a relationship, and what can affect the relationship positively as well as negatively? And in doing so, have you had any experiences that you guys can let us know of so we can learn from your guys' experiences? Because I'm all for it. I need to learn as well. But drop some comments, make sure you guys go and subscribe to the channel and go and follow the Instagram page. I hope to see you guys soon. And remember, I see you.